I know when my husband is cheating on me. It's funny. Something like 60% of marriages end in infidelity, but you never think it'll be yours. There are so many articles on it too. How to tell, what signs to watch for. Is he spending too much time at the office, or just working hard? Crappy episodes on daytime TV. Some silly girl sobbing as it's all revealed. These articles, shows, dramas, they're for weaker women. I knew the moment my husband didn't love me anymore. Oh, it'll start small. He'll smile more for no reason. He'll laugh at little things she says or does, things that he would have never in a million years found funny if you said them. And it'll only get worse. His face will light up like a sun when he sees her, and he will see her. He can't stop it. She's everywhere in his life, invasive like a cancer or a leech, sucking all of his attention and love away from you. And then, even worse, his friends, your friends, will notice. They'll tell you they've never seen him before like this, how happy he is. It's enough to make you sick. And finally, he'll tell you he's never felt love like this before, that he doesn't know how he lived without her. Well, something had to be done, obviously. I love my husband. I'm not having some little temp just steal him away from me. What kind of woman would I be then? No, so I took matters into my own hands. Thank God she's still little. I don't think I could have drowned her that easily if she could walk just yet. Number 2.
Congratulations, today is your cake day, the man announced as he took out the carving knife. You're the first one who's made it this far. I sobbed as he dug the knife into my flesh, removing what little skin I had left on my right arm before cutting off my remaining finger with a flick of his wrist. I howled in pain, but it wasn't a new feeling. He'd come to the woodshed where he kept me in chains, and each day he'd remove a bit of my flesh, sometimes a finger. Then he'd leave, off to make whatever sick dessert he decided on. I'd met the man through a Craigslist ad for a new baking oven he was selling on the cheap. In hindsight, there were a million red flags. The astonishingly low price. The meeting area not being his house. The fact that his name wasn't even real. Baker Boy 188. Today is your cookie day. That was the start. He'd filleted my entire right arm that day, leaving it a muscly mess, throbbing with pain. I'd screamed until my voice went hoarse, then he cut off my left pinky. There was another person there, but I hadn't been able to tell anything about them. Any skin or feature that would identify them had been butchered away, and they were crumpled in the opposite corner in a broken and mute heap. According to the man, it was their pie day. After that, he dragged them inside, and I hadn't seen them since. My pie day came and went, along with a sizable chunk of my left thigh and both middle fingers. Now, I was sure my body would give out on me and I'd finally be able to leave this cursed place. I didn't care about living anymore. I was now as broken as the person before me. I just wanted the pain to stop. The man came back, and in his hands were 2 slices of cake. The cake looked professional, cleanly cut, and perfectly frosted. The cake was a velvet red with pinkish icing. The man walked up to me, and as soon as I could smell the cake, I grew sick to my stomach. I'd grown accustomed to the scent of my own blood, but this was also accompanied by the sickly scent of sugar. "This cake is the best thing I've had in a long time," the man moaned as he took a bite of the cake. "That's why I saved this special piece just for you, so you can see how you bring out the perfect flavor." Just let me die, please. You die? The man grinned, shaking his head. "I've finally found my missing ingredient after all these years. Eat up, You're going to need your strength. I have lots more recipes to try. He picked up a fork and forced my mouth open. As I took a bite, tears sprang into my eyes. It was delicious.
Number 3. It's been dark for too long. At first I didn't notice anything. I just woke up, looked outside, and went back to sleep happy that I still had time before I had to get up. It wasn't until I woke up again that I realized something was horribly wrong. The clock said it was 9 a.m., but it was still pitch black outside. A power outage maybe? Or some sort of glitch with the clock? The phone said the same thing. It's been 6 hours now. It's 3 p.m. and it's still dark. There's nothing on TV except news, and all over the internet people are questioning what's going on. Scientists are baffled, and public officials are telling people to stay calm. October 12th, 2020. Day 3 and still no explanations. The streetlights are on 24/7. I'm sure the power company's loving this. Round the clock power usage, they must be making a killing. People are talking about the end of days and how we brought this on ourselves. As I scroll through the internet, I see more and more stories of people missing, and some even claiming that their friends or loved ones were taken by strange creatures. Panic can make people see things, I guess. It can make people crazy. There's rioting, and crime rates have skyrocketed in some areas. Those are the places that most people seem to be going missing. I think most of them probably just ran from the mobs, or maybe they got caught in them. October 21st, 2020. If the darkness wasn't bad enough, well, now there's fog. You can't see 2 feet in front of you. At least the rioting seems to have died down. I guess it's harder to destroy things when you can barely see. October 27th, 2020. More and more stories are circulating about the strange creatures stalking people on the streets. Social media is full of the same blurry pictures of the creatures. I think it's just someone trying to stir up even more panic. Some people thrive on chaos. The government is advising everyone to stay inside and stay safe. I always have the news running in case anything new comes up. November 2nd, 2020. I haven't been outside in weeks. Disappearances are becoming part of the new norm. The media is streamed from news anchors' homes now. The government told us to board up windows and keep our doors locked and closed at all times. They said these riots are starting up again, but they're not just targeting businesses now. Something about their story seems off. Maybe I'm just getting paranoid from being alone for so long. November 8, 2020. I really needed the fresh air, so I stuck my head outside the door, just for a second. I shouldn't have. I was wrong about the creatures. They're real, and I think they're everywhere. The one nearest me had tattered, leathery-looking wings and walked hunched over. I don't think it saw me, but it sounds like they're prowling close to the house now. But I don't think they can get in. Alert! If you are reading this, something's happened to me. I set it up so if I don't at least open this program for 5 days, it will release all my notes along with this message. Number 4. Four facts about my sister's death. Number 1. Sometimes, in rare cases, identical twins can be separated from each other and live separate lives, never knowing the other exists. The twins may live in the same country or even the same city and just never happen to meet. With 8 billion people on Earth, strange things happen often. Number 2. Facial recognition software is becoming more and more accurate and therefore more and more common. Number 3. Drones can be equipped with the software for various purposes. Drones can also be equipped with weaponry such as missiles in conjunction with this software to make them especially lethal. Number 4. Terrorists are often not given a trial and instead killed on sight. Number 5. Roses. Men always think they can apologize with roses, don't they? They're the ultimate symbol of love, after all. Every time after an argument, a debate, some heated words and slamming doors, I'd find roses. Always white roses. Beautiful, soft petals, begging for a fresh start. And I'd forgive him, most of the time. Such a sweet gesture for such a short temper. White roses in my car, on my table, at my work. Perfumed and gentle and kind enough to make me cave. One more chance, a promise. Always, always, always. Promise me one more try. Promise me never again. White roses on my bed, on my pillow, around my head. A crown of sweetness. And now more roses. Petals falling soft as snow, soft as can be. Down, down, down. Bright red roses decorating my grave. Number 6. For as long as I can remember, all I've had is my mom. She's taught me everything I need to know and has done so much to protect me. She warned me about how dangerous the outside world is and told me all about what she has to go through to protect me. She risks her own safety by leaving the house to get our food and clothes. I don't leave, of course. I'm not as strong or as smart as her, so I have to stay in the house. I've never left. I'm lucky that she's generous enough to risk her life for me. I've never had other friends either. She's warned me about how other people would try and hurt me, corrupt me, turn me against her. I'm not smart enough to protect myself from mental manipulation, is what she calls it. So I know it's best to stay in the house and stick with her. She's all I have. She's been getting more tired recently. She says she has old bones, and that being a mom 20 years wears a woman out. I felt bad that she was getting weaker because of me. She's done so much for me, and this is how I repay her? I tried to help her out whenever she needed it. I helped her out of bed, wrote for her when she struggled to hold a pen, and helped with household chores. So when I saw her struggling to get down the stairs, I decided I should help with that too. I should have let her know I was there. She got startled when I grabbed her arm and quickly jerked away, tumbling down the stairs with a few wet, snapping sounds. She was still breathing at the time, but her knee was bent the wrong way and she was completely passed out. I wasn't sure how to help, but I figured she would need rest, so I dragged her off to bed. It's been a few weeks. She still hasn't woken up yet. I tried to save the last piece of fruit for her, but it grew white with mold, so I had to eat it myself. Good kids don't waste food. It's been a week and a half since the last piece of food's been gone. I can't go out to get food. I have to wait for her to wake up. It's too dangerous for me to go out there, and who will help take care of my mom if I get hurt? Still, the stabbing pain in my stomach and the shakiness of my muscles is hard to ignore. I hope she wakes up soon. I'm so hungry I could eat almost anything, and all I have is my mom. Number 7. I jolted awake in a dark forest. I was so scared tears were forming in my eyes, like I had already accepted I was going to die. It was so cold and so dark, but I could make out the trees packed densely around me. A trail ran from where I sat to the edge of my view, the marks of something being dragged across the forest floor. This was it. My life was going to end. There was a comfort in that fact. Never knowing when it was going to happen made me paranoid, but now I knew it was over. I began to sob. I desperately tried to think back to how I could have gotten here. The previous night was a blur, a muddy pond of nondescript events flooding my mind, clouding my thoughts with its impenetrable darkness. This was despair. The silence was all-consuming. No life was supposed to be here. I was a trespasser in this place. It didn't matter whether I came of my own volition or not. My very existence was an affront to its purpose. It was then I realized that the trees were not trees. There was no vibrant green in their leaves or brown in their trunks. They were the deepest shade of gray. That's the only way I can describe the color, for it wasn't truly a color, but a signal of decay. When a person dies, they cease to become a person, but a corpse still lives. The bacteria eating away at the flesh in its truest form of life, a testament to the circle that perpetuates us. These trees were truly dead. I ran as fast as I could, but it was all the same. I followed the trail as far as my legs would take me before collapsing on the ground once more. A strong wind began, chilling me to the bone. The dead trees began to shake, so brittle they started to collapse. The forest fell upon me, and a second before I was about to be crushed, I awoke. I'm typing this because I know it was more than a dream. It was a prophecy. Life exists because other things die. We cannot persist unless we continue to consume, and God is hungry. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to everyone who let me narrate their story today. I'll leave a link to their Reddit profiles and their stories in the description. If you would like your story featured in an upcoming video, you can send me a message on Reddit. My profile will also be in the description. If you enjoyed the video, consider dropping a like or leave a comment below. I also post new videos every week, so hit that subscribe button for more. So thanks again, and I'll see you all in the next one.